Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejas Vinavaditamastu Mavit Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 16 to 20 of chapter 3. Evam pravartitam chakram.
Evam pravartitam chakram.
Nanuvartayati hayah.
Nanuvartayati hayah.
Aghayurindriya ramah.
Aghayurindriya ramah.
Mogham partha sajivati.
Mogham partha sajivati.
Yastvat maratireva syad.
Yastvat maratireva syad.
Atmatriptascha manavah.
Atmatriptascha manavah.
Atmanyeva cha santushtah.
Atmanyeva cha santushtah.
Tasya karyam na vidyate.
Tasya karyam na vidyate.
Naiva tasya krite narthah.
Naiva tasya krite narthah.
Na krite neha kaschana.
Na krite neha kaschana.
Na chasya sarva bhuteshu.
Na chasya sarva bhuteshu.
Kaschidarthavyapashrayah.
Kaschidarthavyapashrayah.
Tasmadasaktah satatam.
तस्मादसक्तः सततम्
कार्यं कर्म समाचर
कार्यं कर्म समाचर
असक्तो ह्याचरन् कर्म
असक्तो ह्याचरन् कर्म
परमाप्नोति पूरुषः
परमाप्नोति पूरुषः
कर्मणैव हि संसिद्धिम्
कर्मणैव हि संसिद्धिम्
आस्थिता जनकादयः
आस्थिता जनकादयः
लोकसङ्ग्रहमेवापि
लोकसङ्ग्रहमेवापि
सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि
सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So in the last session, we have just entered verse number 17, which is a highly inspirational verse. It is inspirational to those people who are aspiring to merge with the infinite. If you don't have that goal in front of you, now you will just pass through this verse very quickly. It will not speak anything to you. It is something like this. Supposing a person has a goal of becoming a top tennis player. Let us say he is right now playing at the national level and he wants to break it to the international level. Now, supposing you tell him that the number one player in tennis, one who is ranked number one, this is what he does, this is what he is, this is his lifestyle, this is what he is saying, this is what he feels during every match. Now, this budding tennis player will become very interested. He'll become so inspired by that. But if you go and tell that to a person who is not interested in tennis, let's say a person doesn't even know what tennis is, and you go and tell him, you know what he said, the number one in tennis, this is what he feels when he prepares for the match, this is how he prepares. Now this person will ask, so what? Any bit of inspiration which you have also will go away. So your inspiration in life is always related to what your interests are, what your goals are. Now, when you don't have any goal, there will be no inspiration. See, either you should have reached the highest level, which is what we are going to see here, and then we will be bringing it down from the relative point of view also, so that we can see what are the sadhana messages which can be derived. But otherwise, he's basically talking about the person who has reached the ultimate, who has become one with the infinite. And that's what he says. See, for that person, there is nothing which ought to be done. Means he has already reached the state of infinite bliss. So he is deriving infinite inspiration from within. So he doesn't require any external prop in order to get inspired, in order to become happy. So either you should have reached that level or you should have a goal in life. And that goal should either be the highest, which is reaching that infinite, or it should be some relative goal in the same direction. Only then this verse will inspire. It's not only this verse, actually, the entire Bhagavad Gita will have no relevance in your life if you don't have this goal for self development, self purification, and self realization. See, you're watching every Sunday. Now you're so inspired and you go and tell this to your friends. I'm sure all of you would have experienced this. Your friends will just look at you with a blank expression. Non-verbally, what they'll ask you is, what is wrong with you? You were okay till last week when we met. Suddenly now you have seen some Bhagavad Gita, you've attended some Bhagavad Gita session, and now you're talking so much. So you will get frustrated if you have such expectations that whatever inspires you should inspire everyone. Out of 10 people whom you talk to, probably one person will vibrate at the same frequency. He may say, oh, let me also explore this. Let me find out what is this? You're saying so much. See, as far as you're concerned, how will you know who that person is? You will not know. So, as a karma yoga, you are talking to everyone. That's okay. But it shouldn't be with this expectation that as soon as I tell someone, now they should also come to this. If you have that expectation, you will become very much frustrated. See, one is getting inspired, the other is the level of inspiration. That way, when a yogi reads this verse, now his inspiration level will be very high in terms of quantity and quality. Quantity means intensity, and qualitatively also, it will be extremely high. So, a person who has not yet reached that level may also be inspired, but not up to this level. So, if a yogi has an expectation that everybody should now get inspired, everybody should follow this, now he will lose all his peace of mind. Actually, he'll fall from the state of yoga. This is a very important principle which is being given to you. That is, one is the principle of inspiration, the other is your expectations when you interact with people. That is so important, because when you do karma yoga, when you start working selflessly, when you start working for a higher cause, for example, you're so inspired by this, you want everyone else to benefit, so you put in your efforts to introduce this to as many people as possible. What is your motive? no motives, genuinely wanting others to benefit. Now, that's a good goal to have, but if you develop expectations, then you will lose your peace of mind. Because the other person has to align to this frequency. That takes a while. Out of 100 people, probably a handful will naturally align. The rest, it's varying degrees, Some people will attend these sessions periodically here and there. Some people will attend for a while and then they'll go off, they'll take a break and then again they'll come back. Each one is made differently. So, how should you approach life? What are my duties? I will do my duty. If my duty is to provide that information here in this context, in this example, so I will do that to the best of my ability. So, in life, unless and until you are inspired, your actions will not gain that power or momentum. If a person is inspired to do business, he or she will become successful. Inspiration should not be confused with an impulsive desire. See, some people see someone who's successful in his field. Immediately they say, I also want to do that. A cricketer, he achieves very wonderful things in his sport. And then he buys a nice car, a luxury car, and he's driving. I know many youngsters who see that and say, hey, I also want to now play cricket. Actually, their passion is not for cricket. They are getting attracted towards that luxury lifestyle. And therefore, they want that. It will not work. An actor, he puts in a lot of effort and he comes to the top in his field. Now, there are many others who try to copy that actor. Let me also now get into that. So, that is just a momentary, impulsive desire. It will not stand. In the long run, the interest, everything will go away. So, differentiate between inspiration and momentary, impulsive desires or attractions. If you are inspired with something, nobody needs to tell you to do that. If you are inspired by the highest goal, you don't require reminders. Anyway, you'll automatically come. If you're inspired by the Yoga Sankirtan meditation, you will do it every day. It is only when you lack inspiration that you need to be told. They are reminded, get up, do this, do that, and all that. So if someone has to tell you to do your work, supposing you're doing business or you're doing some other, you're in the arts field, whatever it is you're doing. Now, if someone has to keep reminding you, someone has to keep pushing you, do this, now then you should check, am I in the right field? Or you may be in the right field, but am I being too tamasic? It will be one of these two only. So, as far as the Bhagavad Gita is concerned, If you say, sir, I'm not so inspired, sir, which means this is not my cup of tea, it's not like that. See, whether you are a businessman or whether you're a sports person, whether you're an artist, whatever be your field, whatever be your age, whatever be your nationality, let it be anything. The principles which are being given in the Bhagavad Gita are common to everyone. These are meant to enhance the quality of your life. So, one thing is for sure, whatever field you are in, you want to improve the quality of your life. Then how can you say, I'm not interested in that? It is because you don't know that these principles are so valuable in your life that you're saying, oh, it is not my cup of tea and all that. Even when you go and try to introduce this to others, you may have encountered this. Some people say, oh, what you're saying is interesting, but right now, I don't have time. Probably later. It means they have not understood the value of what is being given. They are caught up with their own thoughts, with their own preconceived notions about the Bhagavad Gita, about spirituality. So that is why last week I asked you to do this as a homework. Just read this verse a few times. But one who delights in the self alone and is satisfied by the self, extremely content only in the self, for that person there is nothing which ought to be done. Why did I ask you to read it several times and come? So that will trigger the inspiration within you. When you were doing that homework, the healing was also given throughout last week to all of you. But if you had opted or chosen not to do the homework, then nothing can be done. See, a master can do everything, can help you so much, provided you want to be helped. If you don't play your part, then it becomes impossible. So when that inspiration factor within you is triggered, and then when we go into the depth of this verse, what benefits will you get? Everything which he is saying here, which are all the benefits of following sadhana, will start happening to you in your life. Because when you are inspired by something, or when you are inspired by someone who has a particular quality, your mind also will start vibrating, your consciousness will start vibrating at the frequency of that quality. So you'll slowly start absorbing that into your system. That is why it is advised to everyone, especially youngsters, when it's so important as to whom you keep as your role model. Because if you just get attracted to some thing and you keep that person as a role model, now you will slowly your consciousness will start vibrating. Supposing that person's frequency is low, now you will absorb all that. If you are watching a movie and an actor has performed very well, yes, you appreciate. But that doesn't mean now you have to take that person as a role model for your life. Some people, they emulate their role models externally also. It may be a sports person, it may be an actor, it may be an artist. Supposing you take up one or two principles, that person has worked so hard to come to this level, so let me also work hard in my field. That is good. But if you just simply get attracted to externalities, that actor in that movie had a particular hairstyle, so immediately you change your hairstyle. Is there any meaning in that? You're losing your identity. So you should not blindly follow like that. Just because a sports person has, supposing, let's say, a particular uh, an achiever in sports has a particular hairstyle, let's say long hair. Now immediately many youngsters, they also grow their hair. Why? Because he is having. What is the meaning of that? It means you are not thinking originally. You are not happy being yourself. Why I am giving you this point is, in this verse that is going to be the central theme. Because one who delights in the self alone, because he's talking about the higher self, which is the infinite, but it is applicable at the relative level also. So, when you start moving away from yourself, from your own personality, now your energies will go down after a while. You can never be an achiever. A rose should be an original flower. Supposing there is a plastic rose, it will not be able to give fragrance. So if you try to imitate someone else, that person may be original, but you will look similar, but you will not have any fragrance. So inspiration has to come from within. The best inspiration, or I would say the permanent inspiration, is that inspiration which comes from within because of your goal, not because someone else is doing something. So if you're all as sadhaks fired up with this ideal that yes, my purpose of life is to merge with the infinite, now that inspiration will be permanent. Sir, the highest ideal is seems to be out of reach for me. Okay, something relative. My goal is self-development. My goal is self-purification. Along the lines which will lead you to that highest goal, then that inspiration will be permanent. So every Sunday, when these truths are being given to you, it's not merely just these principles, but the value of that is being installed. An attempt is made to install the value of these principles so that that inspiration starts building from within. The more the inspiration in a student, the more the master will be able to give. Someone asked me, Sir, why is it that the Upanishadic masters gave that highest energy, highest wisdom only to a select few? It is not that they are sitting and selecting. Please understand. When the student is inspired to that level, automatically the master is able to give. According to the level of inspiration of a student, the master will be able to give that particular wisdom, that is the wisdom at that particular level and the energy at that level. Supposing a person's inspiration is at 50% level and the master is giving 100% energy, it will go over this student's head. he or she will not be able to absorb anything. So this is not any partiality or conditions put by the master because he wants to select or anything. There is nothing like that. Why is it that a master's degree is given only to a select few students? Why not we give the master's degree, whatever the professor is teaching at the master's level, why not that be taught at the third standard level? Will you ask such questions? It is as absurd as that. So when you're coming every Sunday and attending this, you will be able to absorb this energy to that extent where you are inspired, to that extent of your inspiration, internal inspiration. Supposing you come just because your parents have told you to come, that is of no use. See, many a times I get requests where the parents send mails or they send requests. Sir, can you please meet my son and talk to him? Can you please meet my daughter and talk to her? So I tell the parent, because he or she is facing this problem, I tell the parent, ask your child to send a mail. 9 out of 10, they don't send, which means the boy or girl is not having that inspiration to meet. The parents are inspired, and naturally, with good intentions, they are trying to arrange for a meeting, but that meeting will not be fruitful because that person is not having that inspiration to meet. They are not ready for any guidance. So the parents have unrealistic expectations. They feel that one parent even had sent a mail where she had written, Yogishri, if you just meet my daughter for 5 minutes, I feel her life will be transformed. It's not necessary. That way, we'll take the example of an avatar like Lord Krishna. He was an avatar Purusha, a direct manifestation of the infinite. How many people met him? All of them, did they change? If that had happened, then there would have been no necessity for this Mahabharata world war, no? So, it has to do with the level of inspiration, seeking, receptivity of the student. So, one is the level of the master, other is the level of inspiration, seeking, and receptivity of the student. So, if a master is at the highest level and a student's receptivity, seeking, and inspiration is also at the highest level, there will be an explosion of energy. There will be a tremendous transaction of wisdom. That flow will be unstoppable. To those parents who want to introduce this to your children and let's say they are not responding, I fully understand your good intentions. But all I'm trying to tell you is it doesn't work artificially. So what should you do? You be a little patient, introduce this to them. Probably if some short videos are there, you can just send some links. Either I found this interesting, you see that. They shouldn't feel that you're pressurizing them. Let them see it. Now, once something clicks, they themselves will automatically start watching. And it also depends upon how your relationship is with your children. If you have a very good relationship and you talk to them, they'll value that. Just come for one session, no, just for my sake. Just see. Some parents have done that and it has worked. Because once the child has come, now they found that they found a lot of value in this. So many factors are there. Without considering all these factors, if you simply say, sir, just please meet once now, whole life will be transformed. In 5 minutes, how can a person's life be transformed like that? So, understand this principle of inspiration, which is so important to you as a sadhak, to absorb this. So, if you want to absorb more and more divine energy, get inspired more and more. How? By understanding the value of this. Even if you don't know any principle which is being given, but you know these principles are so valuable in my life, it is only a question of time. You'll be able to master this entire wisdom. So, what did we see in the last session? This word tu, which means but, which he is changing the flow of thought. So earlier he was talking about what are the consequences of not following the Yajna Chakra. Now he's saying if you follow the Yajna Chakra, if you follow the sadhana, what will happen? Wonderful things are bound to happen to you. So when it comes to the positive things, he is not saying if you follow this, if you do all this, then this will happen. He's not wasting time. This was the point which was given to you last time. He's straight away getting into the consequences because he does not want to waste time. When it comes to positive, he wants to get into it quickly. So what is the sadhana message you get from that approach which he is adopting here? In life, you should not waste time in practicing the positive things. See, what happens is the untrained mind, what it does is whenever something negative is encountered, now it spends a lot of time on that. Whenever some positive news, positive things happen, it doesn't spend so much of time on that. You get up early in the morning, some messages come in your WhatsApp, and you read that. Some friend of yours has given out a very negative message, some negative incident happened, you know what happened in this house and somewhere so far away from you, in the other corner of the world, that person had an accident and this is what happened. That is being described in a very gruesome way. Now when you read that early in the morning, now you will absorb that full energy. If you observe your mind, it doesn't stop there. As you're going to brush your teeth and you're going to do other activities, your mind will be thinking about that. Whenever you get spare time, it'll come back to haunt you. You will read it several times and then you will forward it to others. That's the worst thing to do, because when you get negative information, messages, why do you need to share it with others? Not only through your cell phone, whenever you meet your colleagues, your friends, or anyone, immediately you will start talking about it. You know what happened? In that place, this fellow, the one guy, he had an accident, and that person also will now react to it. See, this is how then the opposite of inspiration, we can say. See, it's negative inspiration. We can coin it that way, but the moment it becomes negative, we generally don't call it inspiration. But the frequency of your consciousness, your mind, everything starts vibrating in a negative way. So, like this, every day you are relating to so many things which are actually pulling you down. So, you spend a lot of time on that. The mind spends a lot of time. Whereas, when some positive thing is sent, now your mind skips that. You just read it, oh, it's nice, and then you skip it. Maximum you do is mechanically you press that share button, not with that bhavana. So, the sadhana message which we get here, when he is spending very less time in non-essential, and he's straight away getting into the positive consequences, is that you should adopt that approach in your life. When it comes to the positive, don't waste your time. Don't postpone good things. I will do it tomorrow for no reason. See, if there is a valid reason for better effect, that is a different matter. But otherwise, simply just postponing good thing. When there's something negative, immediately clinging on to that. Just observe the tendency of your mind and see how much your mind is spending time on negative things and how much the mind is spending on positive things. Even when you have a problem, the mind wants to constantly keep thinking about the problem. It doesn't want to focus on the solution. So whenever you find that your mind is running towards either a problem or a negative emotion, something has affected you and it's continuously running, what should you do? First, become aware of that. That itself will give you a certain amount of control. I wouldn't say the mind will stop running the moment you become aware, but that awareness will give you so much of strength, because now you've started observing your own mind. Then you invoke the Guru Shakti, sit for a few minutes, connect yourself, align your personality by doing the deep breathing, and you will find that the healing will happen. Instead of dwelling in that emotion more and more, that negative emotion, an effort should be made by you to pull back your mind. That is a very important sadhana. When you're doing the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana every day, automatically the negative energy which you've stored will get released. But apart from that, whenever you find that your mind is constantly running towards any negative factor, now make an attempt, bring that awareness and make an attempt to pull back your mind by doing this method, by following this small sadhana. You cannot force your mind. You cannot forcefully say, come back, and then it will go more. Allow your mind to go with full awareness. Connect with the Guru Shakti and request for healing. And do the deep breathing with that awareness. If you keep practicing all this over a period of time, you will find that your mind will now start relating to positive things so much. Because whenever you read something positive, your mind will want to skip it and move away. No, consciously spend some time. That is why this was suggested to you, that apart from seeing this every Sunday, every day also, at least for 5-10 minutes, watch either the same discourse which you watched on Sunday, or part by part. That will be a good revision, it's not only a question of revision, but you will be associating with the positive or any a portion from any previous sessions also. It is so important for you to train your mind to relate to the positive. It doesn't happen overnight. You will have to put in a lot of efforts to conquer your mind. So, but means is change the flow of thought. One who delights in the self alone and is satisfied by the self, extremely content only in the self, for that person, there is nothing which ought to be done. So here, when we have an overview of this verse, he's talking about a person who has reached the highest, a sthita prajna. One who has completely merged with the infinite, who has reached the highest stage of yoga. Yoga is derived from the Sanskritam root yuj. Yuj means to unite. So when that union becomes 100%, unite means with what? With the infinite. So when that union becomes 100%, then that person is a 100% yogi. If the union is only 50%, that person is 50% yogi. So here he is talking about a person who has completely united with the higher self, with that infinite supreme reality. Such a person, he says, is delighting in the self, satisfied by the self, extremely content. Now, what all these portions mean, we will be seeing in detail. It's so inspiring, and it has a lot of, each portion has a lot of messages. When we come there, we'll see. But as an overview, what you can understand is he's talking about the highest state, the state of a sthita prajna. So then you may ask, several questions you may ask. The first question which may come to your mind is, if it is talking about the highest, the person who has reached the highest, why should I read it? Because I am not at that level. It's a legitimate question which any sadhak will ask. Now, that is why I gave you the I used the word yogi. That is 100% yogi, 50% yogi and all that. Because what is applicable at the absolute level is also applicable at the relative level. You're progressing in the path. It's not like you are 0 or 100. Either I am useless or I become a sthita prajna. It's not like that. It goes in stages. One will lead to the other. Supposing you read, let's say, in your lower classes, that is when you were in school, you read the basic principles of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. You must have learned all this in your early years of schooling. Now, as you advance, are all these the principles which you learned, have all those principles become redundant? No. The same principles are applicable even at PhD level. But so many other things have been built over those simple principles. Similarly, supposing let's say you are at 10% level. Is this verse applicable? Yes. When you bring it down, it is applicable. So we'll have to approach this verse at two levels. One is at the absolute level, the other one is at the relative level. So the absolute level, why should we study that? For inspiration, that's what I told you. The more you get to learn about who is a yogi, who is a sthaprajna, that inspires you. Automatically, your mind starts absorbing that energy. Your consciousness starts vibrating at that frequency. You get a lot of inspiration to do your daily sadhana. Why should we now study it at the relative level? Because you will get a lot of sadhana tips. So that is how we are going to approach this verse, both from the absolute level and from the relative level. So one will inspire you tremendously, will give you that fuel for you to maintain consistency in your sadhana, and the other will give you wonderful, simple, practical tips which you can straight away follow in your life. So we are not going to read this like a story, because some people, what they do is, when they explain these verses, they say, one who delights in the, what about you all? You're all totally useless. See, this great Mahapurusha, he just revels in the self. He lives in the self. You are all useless. They'll say that and go away. It is neither helpful for the person who's living, because whatever little confidence that person has also has gone away. Neither is it helping the person who's listening, nor will it help the person who's speaking. So we are not going to take that kind of a approach. That is a wrong attitude. So one who yaha, who is that yaha? Put yourself. He is talking about me. Sir, but I am not yet a Sita Prajna. No problem. You are in that path, no? So this is your future you. Generally we say, don't think about the future. In this case alone, it's okay. This is your future you. What you will become when you do sadhana, ultimately what will happen to you. See, the whole complexion of the verse will change when you start doing that, because when you start visualizing whatever you want to become in the future, now when you start visualizing it, it will slowly start becoming a reality in the present. If you are constantly going to think, Sthita Prajna, I don't know, I don't think I can ever reach that level. Some people say like that, that is a privilege only for great masters. Even I sometimes get mail, Yogishri, the level in which you are in, I don't know whether in this birth I can ever reach that level. See, you yourself are writing your destiny like that. You are creating your life. What Yogishri is telling you is you can do it. You have infinite potential within you. But no, you will give your own philosophy. You will not want to study the Bhagavad Gita. You want to write your own Gita, So all that are not okay. They will only limit you. So, yaha. In the previous verse, I didn't say that. When we did the previous verse, yahasa, I didn't say put your name, because supposing you identify with the negatives unnecessarily, why all that? But when it comes to the positive thing, go full on and place yourself there. Personalize it. And then see that, then see the changes which happen to you. Your inspiration will just start growing tremendously. So, yaha. Now, usually, whenever yaha is used, the word saha is always used. Here, yaha tu Atma Rati Eva, one who delights in the self alone. And then he goes on, Atma Trupta, Atmani Eva Santushtaha. Now, what is interesting is, he says Manavaha. Instead of merely saying Saha, the pair for Yaha, whoever it may be, he is putting another word here, that is Manavaha. Manavaha, we have translated it as for that person, because that goes along well in the English language. But it's not merely that person. Manavaha means the stress is on human being. The emphasis is on being a human being. That's why, you see, he has deliberately used it. The previous verse, Yahasa, it was just used in passing. Whereas when it comes to this verse, where he's talking about the Sthita Prajna, he says, Yaha, whoever it may be, that human being, he gets all these positive things. Those things we'll come to later, but first you understand the structure, the construction. Why is he suddenly putting that word human being, manavaha, there? It is because he wants you to identify with this verse, because you are a human being. As a human being, you have tremendous potential. See, manavaha is a beautiful word. One who has a man, a manas, man. Man means mind. Manavaha means that person who has a full mind, not partial mind. That person is incidentally called a human being. Even the words, somebody has done research and they have given it that the human that is derived, they say that it's derived from man only, which means the mind. They say man, woman, all these things are derived from it. It has Sanskritam origins. Now, if you ask me whether that's true or not, I don't know, but some people are saying that. But irrespective of whether it has an objective truth or not, the concept is very inspiring. That is, a human being is one who has a full mind. So when you see the hierarchy, when you see a plant, then when you see a stone, that is inanimate objects, then a plant is there, then an animal is there. Even in the animal kingdom, many different species are there, and then finally the human being. What is it that differentiates, apart from the physical characteristics and all that? One of the main things is the development of mind. As it starts increasing, we find an evolution. A plant also feels emotions. It's not that a plant doesn't feel. An animal also feels emotions. But the capacity for an animal to feel emotion is much more than a plant. A human also feels emotions. Now, that capacity is much, much more than an animal. We are only taking up one aspect of the mind, which is emotion. Like this, see, man, if you take the Sanskritam word man, it means thinking, thoughts, it means discrimination, judgment, that is coming to conclusions. It means analysis. It means logic. It means emotions. it means intuition. Everything put together is man. Actually, we say no, buddhi means intellect, manas means mind. That is to give better clarity. But actually, the very word manas, man, itself means both emotions and logic. So, buddhi is nothing but the logical mind. If you go deeper and deeper, it is very interesting. So, if we say man, it is all inclusive, comprehensive. So, what our yogis discovered is that in the hierarchy of things, this man, that is all these aspects, thoughts, capacity to decide, decision making, emotions, logic, everything, that keeps on increasing. And when it comes to a human being, the potential is maximum. The external scientists are discovering the potential of the human mind with respect to the world. But our yogis have gone further. They found that there are so many inner powers which you have means which your mind has. All that is untapped today. When you do sadhana, all those powers will start manifesting, the powers of the mind. And then when you keep on growing, finally you go to a state which is beyond the mind, where the individual mind merges with the cosmic mind, as it were. That is the supreme wisdom of the yogis. First, you have the individual mind. At the individual level, you have what is called as a conscious mind. Then you have the subconscious mind. Then deeper layers of the mind. Many, many layers are there. All this is what a yogi explores through sadhana. And the deeper you explore, so many powers start manifesting. But a yogi is not interested in all those limited powers. He keeps on going within, exploring further and further and further and further. And then the individual mind starts expanding through sadhana. As the consciousness starts rising, the mind starts expanding. It merges with what is called as the cosmic man, the cosmic mind. Now that is a very advanced stage in this yogic path. When the individual mind gets aligned with the cosmic mind, now that person becomes a great, great yogi. The manifestation powers and all really increase. That is, all the powers become effortless. A yogi will not set aside a time and put a particular effort to manifest and all that. It will happen naturally. And then when he continues to do his sadhana, grows more and more and more. The mind keeps from the state of the cosmic mind, he goes to a state where even the cosmic mind merges with the infinite, that infinite supreme reality. This is the potential of a manava. See, that word is so powerful. And you are a manava. You have not yet tapped your infinite potential. Please don't listen to this without that bhav. Bring that bhavana. What amount of potential you have. Just the fact that you are a human being, puts you at the highest pedestal of creation, because you can go on expanding your mind. The first step is purification of the individual mind, then expansion of that. These are all different stages in the yogic path. Then expansion of that individual mind, merging with the cosmic mind, and then going beyond the cosmic mind, merging the cosmic mind with the infinite. Then you have become a full-fledged manava, a full-fledged human being, which is what he calls as a sthita prajna. So now do you understand the relevance? How the absolute is also applicable at a relative level. It is just an expansion. No doubt, the infinite cannot be conceived when you are at the finite level. But what you can easily understand it, you just go on expanding. There are certain aspects of the infinite which is present in the finite, and all you need to do is go on expanding those aspects. So, in the he has brought in this combination. Yaha means whoever it may be who experiences all this. Manavaha means that person, that human being, one who has tapped the inherent powers of the mind, expanded that and gone beyond the mind to the infinite. So when you read that's why I first said you should personalize it. Yaha means me, the one who is having the individual mind. Manavaha is one who has completely expanded the mind and become a sthita prajna. Both are you only. One is the present state, the other is what you ought to become. So when you personalize this yaha manavaha, now that becomes a very powerful tool for you for self-development. Your inspiration level automatically increases. And there is one very good protection also. See, when he uses the word manavaha, it's not merely just some human being. It's not like that. As I told you, manavaha is so powerful. Man is all comprehensive. So it starts from, let's say, 0 level and goes up to 100. So whatever level you are in, you can never develop an ego if you understand the significance of this word manavaha. Sir, I have expanded to 50% level. Much more is there, another 50% is there. So you will never allow the ego to surface as you are tapping the powers of the mind. And you may ask me, sir, when I go to the 100% level, will I get an ego? No way. 100% by definition, the ego would have been completely dissolved. So if you take this approach, if you absorb this principle of manavaha into your life, you will grow spiritually so well by doing your sadhana, but at the same time, you will never allow the ego to surface. You will understand that anything which you have achieved is only a part of the total process. So, the structure, when it comes to this verse, the structure which he has created is simply amazing. Straight, getting to the point. Number one, no wasting of time when it comes to positives. Number two, bringing in this word manavaha. He could have used saha, that also would have fitted here, but this gives that impact. So, as far as you as a sadhak is concerned, how much of the potential of a human being have you tapped? That is the question. Why are you doing your sadhana every day? Not just for small benefits. That will come to you. If you want to make some money, if you want some success in your career, all those things will come. But the real benefit of sadhana is in this word manava. That is tapping into the powers of your own mind and then expanding it, merging the individual mind with the conscious mind, and then going beyond the mind to the infinite. That is the real benefit. All other benefits are incidental benefits. They will also be there. Most people, they are satisfied with these things. Sir, some people, sometimes I get funny mails. One person, sir, I don't have a job. Will I get a job if I do Yoga Sankirtan Sadhana? Now, how to tell them, Hare, this sadhana has infinite potential. What you're asking is such a small thing, of course that will happen. But when you're so caught up, your focus will not be on the Yoga Sankirtan Sadhana. Your focus will be on, I have not got a job, I have not got a job. So I tell them, drop it, drop that anxiety. Just do sadhana in a free way. What job? So many things you will get. It is a fact. Some people, sir, I have a pain in the knee or this problem I have. Will that go away if I do yoga sadhana? Of course it will go away. Provided you do the sadhana in a free way. When you're doing the sadhana, if you're only thinking about, if your only motive is pain, even though you're saying, I want the pain to go away, your mind is on that pain only. So if you want the true benefits of this verse, you should now absorb this energy of this combination, yaha manavaha. Yaha means I've already placed you, I've asked you to place yourself. Yaha means me. Who? You. Me means don't say Yogishri, you. Whatever you, whoever you are, your name, whatever it is you want to put there. Yaha manavaha. I have this great tool called man, with which I can achieve worldly success, with which I can achieve spiritual success also. And that is why, in the Upanishads they have said, you conquer your mind, gain complete mastery over your mind. For such a person, he will find that there is nothing in the world which can't be conquered. Unfortunately, in the schools, in the universities, they are teaching about everything else, but not the science of manavaha. That is not being taught. In the good old days, along with the technical education, the students were also given this wisdom. So they were great people, they became very successful externally, and they also tapped their infinite potential from within. So, but yaha manavaha, that person who has reached the potential of a human being. So instead of that person, now I'm saying you. So you who has reached the potential, the complete range is, he's asking you to conceive and absorb. It's not so simple, because for you to visualize yourself beyond what you are is very difficult. Supposing a person is having a tremendous pain, if you tell him, now visualize as if you're having no pain, he'll get angry. But he has to put that effort. A person who is failing in small things, if you say, now visualize that you're a successful person, find it very difficult. Person who's having lot of debts, visualize that you're a multi-billionaire. Verbally he may say, but to internally visualize will be difficult. So verbally you may say, sir, I want to become a Sthita Prajna, I want to grow spiritually, all these things. But you have to sit and absorb this energy. What is your internal visualization? Are you seeing the possibility of Yaha moving to Manavaha? It is you as you are expanding and merging with the infinite. The more you absorb that energy and get inspired, the more you will get from each and every aspect of this verse. See, 3 words he is using, no? Atmaratihi, Atmatriptaha. And then he says, Atmani Santushtaha. Each of these phrases, they have such power, such energy. It can create a tremendous impact. But if you are thinking, I'm finite, I'm nothing. If you're not able to even conceive your potential, then this will have no impact. Okay, so we'll stop with that today. In the next session, we will go into the individual aspects of this verse. Today, an overview was given, and very important the principle of Yaha Manavaha has been given to you. So reflect on that and come back next week. We will go into more depth. So before we do the Nididhyasana meditation, I will take up one question. Dearest Yogishri, Hari Om, wishing you and your family a very wonderful and happy day. Same to you. So I wanted to seek your guidance on how we are supposed to practice deep breathing during our sadhana. I understand that we are advised to do deep breathing during meditation whenever thoughts or emotions arise. Yes. So whenever this happens during my sadhana, I generally practice the 4-step breathing technique. I think you're referring to that technique which was given in the Prana Tattva level 1 empowerment. So the 4-step breathing technique, as I had assumed that this would qualify as deep breathing. However, I am not entirely sure if what I am doing is correct. Hence, I seek your guidance on this aspect, Yogishri. Could you please clarify whether it is appropriate to practice 4-step breathing during sadhana to help release emotions, or if we should instead follow normal deep breathing? Thank you so much, Yogishri, for your guidance. I am eternally grateful to you for constantly guiding me in my life with lots and lots of love, affection and gratitude. Same from here to you. So this is a practical question which he has asked about the 4-step breathing technique. See, that was given in the Prana Tattva level 1. I had never mentioned or I've never asked you to practice it during the normal sadhana and all that. The specific empowerment was given, and even some certain sadhana materials have been given to you regarding that. 1-step breathing, 2-step breathing, and 3-step, 4-step. Even the sadhana materials have been given to you for you to practice. So do that. And during the sadhana, when it is suggested, that is the Prana Tattva level 1 sadhana, you will practice the 4-step breathing. But when you're doing the Yoga Sankirtan sadhana or even other sadhanas, and when the release is happening, that's what you're referring to here, you should not do 4-step breathing. It was never told. See, always follow what is being told. Carefully observe and understand it properly. This is so important. Good that you've asked this question. It will benefit all the sadhaks. 4-step breathing is meant for specific purposes. When you're doing your sadhana and when some release is happening, you just have to do normal deep breathing. I'm just dramatizing it here. Supposing a lot of some negative emotion is coming out, automatically your breath will become faster. Your breathing will become faster. That's okay. But breathe as deep as possible. After a while, you'll find that that emotion will get released. So don't bring in this 4-step. See, when one is told in one context, some principle is told. Now, understand the context. Now, please don't practice it everywhere where it shouldn't be applied and all that. It will create unnecessary issues because when you do 4-step breathing there, it will work in the opposite way. It will tend to relax you more rather than help you release. If you have been doing this for quite a while, you would have found that you're doing your sadhana, but things are not getting released. So, unless and until it is specifically told, please don't practice such things. Okay, there are different types of breathing. There is something called circular breathing. There is something called the infinite breathing. How you take your breath, how you drive your energies. Now, in the advanced empowerments, all that will be taught to you. In Pranatattva level 1, first that 4-step was taught. One thing was told to you, whenever you find yourself very tired, you want to replenish yourself, that time you can sit or even lie down and do that 4-step breathing. That was told to you, right? So practice that much. When I'm doing my asanas, shall I do my 4-step breathings? And did I tell all that? That can create issues. Supposing you're doing a twisting asana, let's say Ardha Matsyendra asana, and if you try 4-step breathing, that may cause a lot of strain. So be careful here. These are all powerful yogic techniques, and I am teaching you that, and I'm also giving you that safety by giving you clear instructions. Good that you asked this, so you can switch over to normal breathing. One more point, incidentally, see, your question is actually very simple. I've been doing the 4-step breathing while the sadhana when trying to release. So should I do that or normal breathing? Actually, it should be just there in 2-3 lines. But you have written several paragraphs for this. So that is something which you can make a note of. Incidentally, you are expressing yourself very well. You have that clarity, but you can look into it where, when you're writing a question or when you're expressing yourself, you try to be more concise. But all points should be there, but not unnecessarily meandering. Because if you allow your mind, see, this is what I was telling you, even when a problem comes, you will find that your mind is dwelling on that more than what is required. So instead, straight, come to the point. That is a small practice which you can do. Okay. So now we'll have Nididhyasana meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper within myself. Beyond this physical body, beyond these various emotions and thoughts, lies my real self, the infinite supreme reality. The purpose of my life is to tap the inherent powers of the mind and finally go beyond the mind to merge with the infinite. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Wriggle your fingers, your toes, open and close your palms a few times. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. And cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, your cheeks, forehead, the top of your head, the back of your head, your neck, and slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So we had a wonderful session today. Just merely knowing these truths is not enough. You will have to apply them in your life. You will have to create a complete transformation within you. Reflect on this principle of manava. Personalize it. Only then you will understand what your potential is. The master has so much of faith in the student. The master believes the student more than the student believes himself or herself. Why is that? Because the master can see the student's potential. The student is not able to see it. That's why he is bringing in this principle of manava to make you see your own potential. Okay? So thank you very much. We'll continue in the next session. Hari Om.